Well, I suppose in the context of the energy sector today is it's sort of dominated by very large assets with extremely long lives. And I suppose it's also populated by a generation of executives whose entire frame of reference is around very, very slow moving technologies and assets with an enormous amount of underappreciated value. Um, so I wonder whether the reason that these are seen as uncertainties in the issues map is that really there's a whole generation of senior executives who've really never had to deal with new technologies making much of a difference to their business because really for the last 100 years they haven't. And so I do wonder whether one of the first issues is actually about literacy. I mean, quite a specific observation about both the oil and gas industries and the electricity industry is that an awful lot of the dominant technologies, even digital technologies, are actually analog. And yet all of these themes which have been sort of thrown up in the issues map are very much around digital technologies and the extraordinary transformation stories that become true once you've digitalized your information. I mean, the crucial thing is until you have digital information about your organization, it's actually very difficult to adopt many of these technologies at all. And I think one of the real insights is about trying to solve real problems. I mean, I do think there are an awful lot of sort of fantastic pieces of innovation, even digital technology innovation, all over the world, not just in our sector, but in every sector, which were sort of ideas in search of a problem. Whereas I think there is starting to be really quite a lot of case study material now about how people have deployed all of these technologies, not just AI, but the Internet of Things, the pervasive instrumentation and control of everything, and even blockchain, not necessarily to boil the ocean, but just to sort of do things better, faster, cheaper. It's about trying to find ways of solving existing business problems or seeking out new business opportunities using new technologies as part of a business process. And what it isn't is some sort of bombastic chief executive deciding that they're going to build a killer product and take it to the world. In my experience, we do have a lot of evidence of successful R&D, even from the little old New Zealand energy sector. But in almost every case, these have all grown out of company-specific solutions to highly specific problems that are really quite prosaic in many cases, which can then be generalized and made available to other people. But what it doesn't involve is a tiny little company in New Zealand going head-to-head with some of the largest manufacturing businesses in the world and reckoning that they're going to take them on and win, because frankly, if there's one example of that, there must be 10,000 examples where it's failed.